Hi, I'm Dave. Welcome to the shop. Um, it's getting that time of year where you start thinking about what's going to happen come Christmas time. Because if you make things for Christmas for people, then you need to get going on it. And I've been thinking about making some picture frames. We've got pictures, photographs, things like that kicking around the house. And I was thinking about picture frames, and I've a problem with clunky and my vision of the world, I'm sure. But I've got this idea in my head to make a picture frame. I've got a molding in my head that I'd like to try to use to see how that works out. So it's sort of like a test run on a future project. So I found, to that end, I found a piece of cherry that's pretty thick. It's a little thicker than I need, but it's nice piece of cherry plank. It's got a crack in it. I need some 3-inch pieces. 3-inch by 1 3/8 is what I need, and I can get a couple of them out of this. I need 2 pieces 20 inches long, thereabouts, and 2 pieces 25 inches long, thereabouts. This is plenty of wood to do that. I may even cut some of it off. Could work out. Anyway, so that's what's going to happen. I'm looking at it now thinking I should find something else because this could bust into bowl stock, but I'm going to worry about it later. So anyway, I'm going to plane this stuff up, or this thing up, and see what I can do to find a molding profile in it. I'm going to try to use, I intend to use my molder planer. I have a Williams & Hussey molder planer, and I've got a set of knives for it that I think is going to work out for the molding. And you get a kick out of seeing that get set up. You might get a kick out of any of this, I don't know. But that's what I think I'm going to do. So we'll see in a bit. Okay, this is my Williams & Hussey molder planer. I use it mostly for molding. Last time it was in use, I had made a custom bed for it, and I was running this stick right here using a part of a gutter mold plane. And now we'll pull that all apart because it isn't needed anymore. And we'll set this thing up to do the cherry pieces using this knife right here. So let's get going on that. Wrenches. All right, put these back on the rack. These to a safe place. And now figure out how this thing's attached and get it up. Some big nails in the corners. That's it. Love it. Don't need this ever again, which is kind of nice. Can't imagine. All right. It's got a metal bed underneath here, but years ago I gave up on that and put a wooden bed spanning across the metal bed because it gives me more flexibility to attach stops to, like that thing that you just saw. Attaching that to the metal would be very hard, whereas this I can just screw it down. So I like this a lot better. It's going to wear over time. It's been plenty of time. It should be done by now. All right. Now the perennial question: do I need 4 bolts in this? Or can I get by with 2? And God forbid that I put 3 in there. Yeah, don't know. That's just going to droop. It's fine.
Okay.
No, we want
All right.
that to weigh down on
Okay,
this.
got it.
We don't want it to come up.
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Me to be pulling it to keep it going smoothly.
I want
you said you wanted it to be smooth.
It's fine. Yeah, we're fine.
Okay.
The auto feed doesn't kick in. This is a primitive machine.
Oh yeah.
The auto feed doesn't kick in until it's down. There's no way to adjust the rollers and the cutter.
So
They're
okay.
fixed.
So we're gonna have to continue to work it down before the auto feed. Got it. And we're doing 2 of those, right?
We're doing 2 of these.
Okay.
But this right here is like, this is the stage where it can come off.
Got it.
Yeah. Anyway, that went really well.
Okay.
They don't ever go any better than that.
Oh, good. All right.
That was great. Let's see how this one goes. Like, if I play the grain in the wood wrong, anything could happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, these are out of the planer, and it's time to do a little sanding on them. I've got a little teeny bit of a mark in the center here that I've got to get out. I don't know why. Somehow it skipped a little bit to one side. Not good, but it's great. It's good what I've got. Anyway, so I want to sand these up a little bit, smooth them, get a little bit of the machine marks off them. There's some spots where I overcut this edge just a teeny bit. All in all, it's pretty good. 20 minutes of sanding, and these will be done. And I'll get a coat of shellac on them before the day is out, and that'll be great. So let's go do that. There's a little spot right in here where somehow when this went through the machine, that point in that knife cut a little bit on one side one time and then a little bit on the other side. Tiny amounts, but there's actually a little, like 2 little knife marks at the bottom of this and a little teeny piece of cherry in between. So that's my task right now, is to instead of having 2 little V's, to bring it down so that there's 1. So to that end, I've got the sandpaper folded up, and I'm going to do something that I typically don't do, is I'm going to use it with one edge folded, leave the other part up. And this will allow me to get right down to the very bottom of that V shape. And then it's gone. It's as simple as that. All I have to do is do that in every inch of this on both pieces. But, you know, I can do that. Anyway, that, and then some just general surface sanding, and these will be ready to go. All right, enough of that. There you have it. Okay, so there's a, Jesus. There are a couple of things going on in here. We're not very good at cleaning up, it turns out. Anyway, It's time to throw a little bit of shellac on these things. This is time. Do a little, what they call a spit coat, I guess, of amber shellac on all sides. And this will, you know, start the color, because I like this amber shellac on cherry color. It will also start to fix the feathery bits of grain fibers and make it a lot easier to do a good job sanding, because you know you want to do a good job sanding. At a certain point, when I sand this, next thing I'm going to do after this dries, let it dry for a day, and then I'm going to sand the surface. And that sanding, I mean, this I found all of the problems, so to speak, with the pieces, like that little bit of feather inside that groove that I showed you. I took care of all of those and took any coarse marks off. But so that sanding that I just did was, so to speak, to shape the piece. The next sanding, when I sand this surface, this will be to produce the surface that the finishes are going to lay on. So if it's ever going to get smooth to touch, you know, that, my God, this is smooth as a baby's butt sort of thing. If it's ever going to get that smooth, it's when I sand this coat of shellac. All the sanding I've done up to this point has just been refining the shape. That's at least how I think about it. This is junk. It's been at the bottom of the can for a long time. It's kind of extra dark, but I'm sanding, so I don't particularly care, and I'm doing both pieces at the same time with the same stuff, so it's going to be fine. I'm not trying to match anything. It's going to be great. All right, so that is what that looks like. I'm going to take this off and set it somewhere to dry. Be right back. Ha! That was good. All right. Get set up and do that again. Okay. Well, somewhat embarrassed to say, I found it. I had to look for it, the other piece here, but I got it. So we're good. Things are a little out of control in the shop. Anyway, this, you probably shouldn't even bother watching this, because this is just slopping it on. If there was somehow a tank that I could dip this in, I probably would do that. This is the least important of everything that I do, other than what I do with this, right? Because this is the key to the final finish. Alright, that's the back. I always do the back first, because if I mess it up with the sticks and all, I don't care. No one's paying for it. It's ever going to see the back. Look at us go. The reason I was so concerned about getting that little bit of wood that was in the groove is the shellac will run down both sides of it and make a dark and light stripe. Make it would actually, the shellac, of all the things that it does, will make that sort of error more visible. So that's where I say, the whole point of the first sanding was to define the shape, to get this thing into the shape that I wanted it to be in. And now I'm going to work on getting the finish that I want, and then it'll be cutting and mitering and reinforcing the joints and putting the pieces together, and the rabbet, and all that stuff. Anyway, this is great. Take this over, throw it in the rack, it'll dry, and we'll be able to get on to the next thing. Thanks for watching.